What's up, everyone? Well, we are off. Got rained out in Madison, so we are off to go check some trail cameras on some public ground along the Wisconsin River. So I guess I just kind of wanted to get into more of the public hunting end of my whitetail stuff. I grew up in Lodi, Wisconsin, hunting on my grandparents' farm. There really wasn't a whole lot of deer there. I think I hunted the first 4 or 5 years of my whitetail career without even laying eyes on a deer. And traditionally, Wisconsin has a 9-day gun season, which starts on a Saturday and runs through the following Sunday. I used to hunt every single day of that season. Just never saw any deer. They were just really scarce in our area. If somebody got a deer in our hunting group, which was about 10 to 11 people, nice rub right there. It was a pretty big deal. You know, that's back in the day when hunting camps were super popular and pretty much a tradition in this state. And all of that has kind of went away with the onset of CWD and the DNR's master plan, basically to kill every deer that walks our state. But that's neither here or there. So I really liked that aspect. We would meet up every opening morning, breakfast. My grandma had breakfast made, and we'd go out and hunt for a couple hours, come back, eat a great big dinner that she had made, and then go back out again and hunt the afternoon. So there was a lot of moving around. And I mean, I'm guessing for the most part that's because there was no deer around there. Everyone was pretty bored. But things have totally changed for me whitetail hunting. Moved out to a place in Sauk County, Wisconsin, Leland. If you're from around the area, everyone knows where Leland's at. 2 bars. One you can buy beer and guns at. Junior's, which he's passed now. But he was a turkey hunting machine. I love going in there, sitting down talking turkeys with him and eating a summer sausage and cheese sandwich and shooting the shit, basically. But he's now since passed, and now actually Corey's dad owns the other bar across the street. And there's also a church too, but just a small little town. Yeah, I started whitetail hunting out on a piece of property out that way, and whatever, the first year shot my first buck with a rifle. Had no clue what I was doing, didn't know how to gut a deer, didn't know how to do anything. And so from there it just kind of evolved. I picked up a bow, said I wanted to shoot a whitetail with my bow, started shooting in some leagues and improved, and I was shooting fingers with a finger tab on an old Fred Bear bow, compound bow. I ended up shooting a buck or two, and then I kind of was like, it was kind of right in the time when everyone was, starting to really think about big buck management and letting them go so they can grow type of thing. So from there I started getting obsessed with trail cameras, and that's the old school film cameras. I have boxes just full of old buck pictures from back in the day, which I'll do something with someday. But yeah, I just started falling in love with it. I loved every part about bow hunting, and I just really didn't care to gun hunt that much. Watching the deer in their natural state versus being scared half to death running around. Nice ground scrape there. Yeah, I just really, really enjoyed it and started doing it pretty hardcore. I shot a couple of nice bucks on some private land out by the Leland area, and all of a sudden people in the hunting group started to not like me because I was just shooting big bucks and nobody else was getting big bucks. Well, moral of the story is I was waiting for, older deer, and they were all settling for 2.5. So there were some hurt feelings and whatever. So I said, you know what? I'm going to go start hunting public land. And I'm going to tell you, it was a struggle right away. I didn't know what to look for. I didn't know where to go. I always loved maps and plat maps and all that stuff. We're talking, this is not before the internet, but really before anything was put out on the internet. So I would spend, every 2 years I would buy plat maps or plat books, which are books that the state of Wisconsin made for each county, and it would have all the landowners' names on it and some of the public land on it, and just trying to gather every bit of information I could. I started doing a lot of researching into places that were like really hard to get into. I mean, you're gonna have to walk a mile or a mile and a half to get into, which is a pretty long ways for Wisconsin. For the most part, it's pretty small sections down here, minus some of the Baraboo Hills area in Sauk County, which you can go 4 or 5 miles some places without running into a road. But I think that I just really like the challenge of it, and the challenge along with that in archery, to find a big buck and to shoot a big buck. I ended up shooting my first big deer on public land, a great big 8-pointer. I had tons and tons of pictures of this deer. I even had a picture of a badger and a bobcat on film, which back then was really, really rare to get a bobcat picture around here. Now they're all over the place. But yeah, we canoed down the Wisconsin River. It was a couple, 3 miles. And it was like, I believe it was November 3rd or 2nd. Me and a buddy, Jeremy Legal, were hunting, and we got out early. It was hot. It was like 60-some degrees that day, like really warm. And we grilled brats along the river, and I was kind of sitting there ready to take a nap, and I'm just like, well, I guess instead of a nap, I might as well be in a tree while I'm napping. Which doesn't sound that safe, but I ended up climbing up there, up this ridge like 3/4 mile, and ended up shooting my first big buck. And that kind of really pole vaulted me into, really wanting to hunt big bucks exclusively on public land. And I just been in love with it ever since. I mean, it's an amazingly frustrating thing to let 3-year-old deer walk on public land. It just really is. Because 98% of them are not going to make it past that year. And just finding a 4-year-old on public land is not an easy task. I run probably 8 or 9 cameras, sometimes more, on public land, and it can take me up to 8 hours during a day just to check them all. So I've kind of come to this theory as I wait till the scrapes are down to minimize my foot traffic in these places. And I basically leave them sit for 2 weeks, check them, and then I'll go in a few days right before I take a week off to go hunt and check them one final time and gather them. And basically, if there's not a big deer on there, I'm not even going to bother hunting it, because what's the point, right? So I think trail cameras are one of the greatest tools you could have on public land. Yes, I get a ton of them stolen, and and all that good stuff, but just buy the cheap ones, and it's not the end of the world if you lose 1 or 2 a year. So yeah, after I killed that big 8-point, then I was just really diving into public land and trying to figure it out and hunted as much as I possibly could. And I did every year, hunted the crap out of it. Till here we are now. I don't know, I've killed 6 or 8 pretty nice bucks, anywhere up to 170 inches, all the way down the line. But I've never got that elusive Boone and Crockett on public land, and man, I just really am after one of those. But yeah, that's kind of the way I got started. I try to get as far away as I can from people, but that's not always an easy task. In the last 2 years, last year and this year, the river levels have been so low. So a lot of times I'll hunt by boat and access properties that are basically landlocked, and that really keeps the people out. I don't see anyone hunting on the river with me. So I am fortunate enough this year that I am going to be able to take off almost 2 weeks to hunt the rut. And my lease over in Richland County, I try to pound the river bottoms, and it's going to be a lot of hiking this year, and I'm going to maybe even do some kayaking down the river. I'm going to have to use some other tactics to get there is all. So yeah, I'm going to take you guys along. We're going to go do some river hunting this year, and I'll try to video as much as I can and all the things I'm going to be doing. So stay tuned, and we're going to go check some cameras first. See if we got any prospects. Look at this, 2 really nice scrapes. I'm in here about half or 3/4 of a mile already, and that sucker is tore up. Oh, sweet, there's one of my cameras. I didn't even know my camera was here. I haven't looked at my Onyx yet to figure it out, but yeah, let's get this thing open and check it out. There should be some bucks on there. Alright, well, we're just about out of here. It took me about 25 minutes to walk down in there all the way to my farthest camera. And I don't think I'm on the right trail here. Okay. But yes. Off to the next one. Working Thursday, hopefully we'll be in a tree Friday, so catch you then. What's up? It is October, late October. Gonna be my first sit on public land tonight. My cell cameras have been going off like mad all day today, so it's the second day after that cold front came through. And that's usually the best day, in my opinion anyways. It can be good before and the day right after, but usually the second day is when things get hopping. So public land can be a lot of fun, and it can be very challenging too. So you have to be in the right mental mode, put it that way, to dive on into public and go after some big bucks. So who knows? Maybe we'll see one, maybe we won't. See what happens. See you out in the tree. Just like that, we're ready for action. I'm sitting on just a little riverway. You can see the river back here. A couple nice scrapes. I just grabbed a card out of this camera I got down here, and We're gonna look at it in the tree, but see what happens. And look at the belly on that guy. That's a buck I would shoot right there. Even though he's kind of got some messed up stuff going on, that's a pretty cool public land deer. I'm telling you, I'm not far off the road either. So heck yeah, I'm gonna definitely do some. I got another camera in this area too, so I'm sure I'll have more pics of them. But pretty awesome. Wow, we got about 25 minutes of light yet. No deer tonight, so far anyways. It's a pretty typical public land, end of October. First you gotta get a picture one, then you gotta figure out where he's staying. I've only had this camera in here for like 6 days, or 5 days, something like that. And he is only on there one night, so. I mean, he definitely still could be in here. I kinda wanna go check my other camera when I leave tonight, but I don't really want to disturb anything at this time of night, so I think we'll just sneak out of here and call it an afternoon, but we still got a little time yet. Let's kick back and enjoy a beautiful sunset on the river. It's gorgeous tonight. Alright, public land sit number 1 on the books. I did see 2 does right at very dark, way on the outside edge. But yeah, that's the way it goes. There'll be a lot of sits where there's gonna be not a lot of deer on public land. But when we got one of that caliber, I'm willing to sit it out and wait. So I'm gonna hash out a game plan tonight. Decide where I want to get some cameras. I think I'm just going to really concentrate on that area as of right now, so keep you posted. Morning. We're headed to the lease, bow hunting. Got a big buck on camera the other day, so we're going to go and see if we can see him this morning, see if he's one I would shoot or not. So see you in the tree. Not bad this morning. It's about 8:30. I just seen a buck over here. He comes here. Down this ridge. They are squirrely this morning. Lip smacking him till he got in. I thought it was 40, but dang it, just right over him. Oh well. I'm gonna go get my arrow and get out of here. Yeah, clean mess. Dang it, man, there's a lot of coyotes out here. But not good. seeing probably 8 or 10 deer. All bucks are up chasing nose of the ground. It's getting there